Good morning, good morning, good morning. Long time no Evo video. Now, I don't do many videos on this car just because I love this car how it is. It really doesn't need anything. The only stuff I really ever buy for it, like cleanup stuff, like replacing bits that are cracked, broken, worn, weathered, etc, etc. Like this car goes and handles so good. It's such a beautiful car to drive that I have no reason to modify it whatsoever. Really reliable. I haven't had a problem with it in over the year that I've owned it. I just love this car so much. The only thing is that now that the VN is finished, well, 99%, I'm gonna run out of stuff to do on that car. So this might end up being the next car that gets modified. Obviously, I don't have many cars, so I have to move on to something else. But we will see what happens. I don't really want to do too much to this car, but if I want to keep doing videos, then I got to keep doing car stuff. So I've been slowly collecting some more genuine replacement parts for this car, and they have finally all arrived. Well, enough has arrived that I can finally do a video on the EVO. So this is what has come from overseas. Now, all this stuff is genuine Mitsubishi. Every single part that I'm fitting today is genuine Mitsubishi. First part that has come. Now, this is one of the first things I did on my XE when I got it, because now you wouldn't really think to replace this part, but it really does liven up your interior, and considering you stare at it the whole time that you're driving, it's a good item to replace. So this is a brand new lens for the cluster. Now hopefully it portrays good through the camera, but I will show you before and after when I fit this, and you will see how much of a difference it makes. Next couple of items. Now, I have to mention, all this stuff came from Japan. Now, this is stuff through Amayama, which I've mentioned in previous videos. I'm not sure how this works, if it comes from Mitsubishi, and I think it goes to a middleman, which is Amayama itself, and they repackage it. I have no idea how it works. But in this box, when I opened it, a note that says, "Love the content, homie, keep it up." So whoever this was at wherever this stuff is repackaged, I don't know if it's overseas or here in Australia, no idea. Thank you very, very much. This put a massive smile on my face, and I have no idea how you knew that it was me, the guy on YouTube, that ordered all this stuff. So good on ya. Thank you very much for that. And if you remember when I did my roof lining, I managed to break the dome light surround, so I bought a brand new one of those, genuine Mitsubishi. I have both the brake and clutch pedal rubbers. Now these are the same part number. Unfortunately, the accelerator pedal is discontinued. So both of those I have, which was very, very hard to find. This was listed as discontinued for a very long time, and I couldn't get this anywhere. So this is the gear boot, obviously for the shifter surround. Now the reason this is so hard to find is 90% of EVOs have black leather with red stitching. Now because my car is blue and it has the blue interior, the steering wheel, gear knob and gear boot are all blue stitching. So very, very hard to find. So got that, genuine Mitsubishi. Another thing that came to my mind from stuff I did on my XE, and the VN has the same as well, is a brand new overflow bottle. This really transforms the engine bay when they're brand new, because they all fade, go yellow, etc, etc. It's got a new hose on it, which is good. I didn't know it came with. Genuine Mitsubishi. And I also jumped on these. So these are scuff plates. So these sit on your sill panels, obviously in each door opening. So these are the rear two, the small for the rear, and the two larger ones for the front doors. Now these get all scraped, obviously, from 25 years of people getting in and out of this car. So again, genuine Mitsubishi. Fitting this stuff to the EVO, this is what I love. If I had the money, I would just buy every single genuine part I could brand new for this car. It's so satisfying clipping stuff like that on, and you know it's gonna fit first time every time. Now surprisingly, this stuff wasn't that expensive. All this stuff all up, the most expensive thing was the gear boot, but all that stuff all up was probably 300 bucks delivered for everything. It did take a long time to get here, but not as expensive as you'd think. So in a video ages ago I did on the EVO, I should have ordered one of those too. Anyway, pulled the roof lining out of this car to clean it because it was absolutely disgusting. And I managed to break this interior light surround. So that is one of the parts we're fitting today. I will show all the part numbers for anyone that is interested that wants to order this stuff. Now you might be thinking, why would you even bother replacing these? Now there's two reasons. This is how all four are, so they're like that pretty much all the way along. And two, these are super cheap. The fronts were, from memory, about $25 each, and I think the rears were like $10 or $11 each. So for something so cheap, why not when it's going to clean up your interior? And three, because when I had the carpet out of this car and I popped all these off to pull the carpet out, I noticed a lot of the tabs were broken. These have like locator tabs on the bottom, and a couple were broken, so they're a bit loose and rattle. So 3 good reasons to replace them. So there you go, there's an example. So one broken there and one broken there. So this is the driver's side front. Driver's side rear. Passenger side rear. As you can see, that one's broken off in there. And last but not least, the passenger side front. Yeah, 1 broken, 2, 3 missing. Ah, that noise is so satisfying. Beautiful. Now onto this gear boot, and this is why I'm replacing it. It's all split and torn around the top here, and all the blue has faded out of the stitching pretty much. It just looks grey. Well, it actually looks more blue through the camera, but there you go, that's brand new gear knob against old gear boot, so you can see the difference. And it's gone all glossy, which is what happens with leather when it wears. So it should be a satin finish, sort of like that, not like that. It's simple to get this out. I think it's just a couple of screws here down the bottom, and this just unclips and pulls out the top. Really simple cars to pull apart. This is also another thing I'd really love to replace, because for some reason here and here is cut out, and there's some holes on the side here, which I'm assuming was maybe like a turbo timer or some shit like that. Now the reason for these holes, this baffled me for a while until I saw this little hole in the carpet, which I'm 99% sure would have been an eyelet that sticks up out of the floor. It would have had a plate under the floor for a harness to connect to. So I'm going to assume this car's done some track days in its life and it had a harness in it at one point. Gear boot with blue stitching. Obviously the part number for the red stitching will be different. Just look at the difference there. Much better. Now, just because I noticed how dirty it was down here, and everybody loves cleaning stuff, I will show you how dirty the inside of this extremely clean car is. I'm using this white cloth so that it shows up. Blech. Now, because I keep a lot of things, there's a couple of these missing on the center console, and I have these still from, I think, when I parted out my R32 coupe. So these are screws with like a plastic head on them that you then clip closed, so they're nice and neat. Now with these next to each other, you can really see the difference. Again, part number for overflow bottle. How's that for a difference? God damn, that looks good. Oh, if I only had unlimited money, I could just order every single part that I need for this car brand new, genuine. That would be amazing. Now, these aren't particularly worn or anything like that, but they're hard as a rock, and they pretty much started breaking to pieces as soon as I pulled them off. So, and again, when these are only under 10 bucks each, why not? So this is the part number for brake and clutch pedal rubber. They're both the same. That's the difference. Old, new. So those pedals are all done, looking beautiful. I'm spewing I couldn't do the accelerator because it's got a nice hole right in the center of it. I'm assuming it had aftermarket pedals in it at some point or something like that. So I'm just gonna have to clean it and that's it. I'm pretty sure it's part of the whole pedal assembly anyway. I don't think you can replace that rubber. Now, if anyone's granddad or something is parting an Aussie Lancer, I'm 99% sure they're the same. I could be wrong because of the transfer case and stuff, but I need grey carpet. So if anyone has a really good grey carpet, hit me up. I will take it. Now on to the last item on today's list is this thing, and I'll show you once I pull it out why I'm replacing it. Now I'm hoping it's just this surround here that I have to pull out to get the cluster out, because I really don't like pulling interior stuff apart, especially dash stuff, because it's so easy to break things. So hopefully this is all that needs to come out. If you drop that. Alright, yep, super simple. 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and this cluster will pop out. Now, just on the subject of this car, what would people like to see me do with this car? If you had this car, what would you be doing with it? Oh, I'd sell it. Well, I don't care. This car's not getting sold. What mods would you like to see me do with this car? Or track days? I'm contemplating doing a couple of track days, maybe. I should probably do a timing belt on this car before I do anything like that. Does need a service, it's due. Hasn't done many Ks in my ownership, like 2,000 or something like that. But it has been over a year since I got it, and I serviced it when I first got it. There we go. Out. And this should be pretty simple to pop out. We've got the matrix going on back here. Jesus. Again, genuine part number for anyone interested. Alright, you are probably not going to be able to tell through here, but this is super dull compared to this. Just for all fine scratches from wiping it over the last 25 years. So this is going to be a nice improvement. Look at that. So that's all back in. I didn't want to try and hold the camera and try to slide this back in and bend any like pins behind it or anything like that. So I was just playing it safe. I'm sure you guys don't need to see me slotting a cluster back in. So all this can go back on. Oh, so much better. So not a single mark on it, and I'll show you what was on the other one. You can see all this stainage in the bottom corner there. And all these little dots and shit. Look, just trust me, it's a million times better, alright? And that is going to be it for this one, guys, on the EVO. Hope you enjoyed some EVO content for once. It is tucked away safely again, and I promise there will be some VN updates very, very soon in the next couple of weeks. As you can see, it's not even here anymore. So there will be some updates soon, I promise. See you guys next week.